Alright guys, so I know you guys have been asking me about 14-22 and especially after the silence buff that came into place, this stage has kind of increased in difficulty because it actually stops your cooldown from going down when you guys are silent. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys a team that has been shared to me by a viewer during a live stream, and I wanted to share with you guys because this team actually has worked out in clearing 14-22 for HyRool's account. So I'm actually back on HyRool's account to kind of show you guys that even with the lower stat topping, you guys can still beat it. Of course, the treasure level here is going to be all maxed out. She's been playing over a year now, so you know that is something that's going to kind of come to play as time goes by. So if you guys are struggling a little bit with the treasure level, then I do recommend you guys invest your mileage points and things like that. But let me just quickly go into the toppings and the team here. And as you guys can see, we have a triple tank, all right, triple frontline, as well as 2 supports in the back. So as you guys can see, we do not have Eclair in this team. We're just kind of tanking through the entire stage. All right, so let me show you guys the topping real quick. Kind of simple here. You need 5 solid almond for all 3 of these frontline tank, and the most important one that I would say you need is going to be crunchy chips. So in this particular case, I actually put everything that HyRool had onto crunchy chip because crunchy chip needs to survive the entire wave through. All right, the reason why is because crunchy chip has this massive debuff that is going to save your life. All right, so if you guys look right over here at the very end, it says claw mark. It's going to last for 30 seconds, activated upon 3 stacks, and each claw mark is going to remove buffs from the enemy, as well as it's going to decrease the attack speed of that particular enemy by 25%, and it could stack up to 2 times, meaning that you can actually decrease the attack as well as the skill speed of the enemy by 50%, which means that the skill rotation of a boss like Affogato is going to be a lot slower, as well as the amount of damage that the Affogato cookie or any of the bosses are going to deal to your cookies are going to be a lot slower, meaning that you guys can heal it back up using your supports and things like that. All right, so that's the reason why we have Crunchy Chip with the most damage resist, because he does tend to die off a little bit faster, being a charge instead of a defense, as well as being in the front, always dashing forward with the skill tends to put him in risk more than the other. Next one I would say that is pretty important with damage resist is going to be Wildberry. Wildberry is going to be the second one to take the most damage, as well as because of the fact that he is going to be a defense cookie, his max HP is pretty high, meaning that the injury debuff is actually going to take more of an effect on him rather than someone like Crunchy Chip as well as Dark Cacao. So I do recommend you guys have a decent amount of damage resist here as well. Dark Cacao also is very important, but he is going to be in the middle as well as kind of in the side lane. So he's not going to take as many injury debuffs as well as Crunchy Chip and Wildberry. So if you have to slack off on a little bit of damage resist, Dark Cacao will be the one to do so. And then next one is going to be Cotton. Cotton has 5 sweet chocolate. The higher cooldown, the better it is, but you do need to have a decent amount of damage resist because Cotton as well as Parfait are going to take some damage from Affogato. All right, so I do have 15% right over here. And then our Parfait is going to have also 5 of the swift chocolate, focusing on damage resist as well as cooldown. The reason why Parfait is so good here is because not only is she going to decrease the amount of damage that you take from poison, which is considered a debuff, you're also taking less damage because there is a 10% defense buff from Parfait as well. The treasure here are going to be the scroll scythe and the jelly watch. So here we go, guys. You guys can tell 1 million power right here, but 800,000 still is gonna be actually going to be possible with this team. I talked a lot. Let's get into the battle and let me show you guys how strong this team can be. So I would say that this entire team is going to work the same way for the story mode. So just keep in mind this one is going to be dark mode, which is going to make the stage a little bit harder than story mode, of course. Something that I forgot to mention as well, Parfait also decreases the effectiveness of injury debuff. So if their max HP is decreased by the injury stack, Parfait is actually able to negate a portion of that, 40% of it, right? So you are actually going to be able to gain some more HP back, allowing your healers to heal that particular HP back. So you guys can see right here, your max HP actually kind of increase, getting rid of some of these red portion of the HP. So there we go. I'll show you guys again right there. So once that comes into play, you know, you're gonna have a little bit more HP right there. But the more injury stats, of course, the less HP your cookies are going to have. Right. So I do. The reason why I like to bring Cotton in this particular stage as well is because it is going to allow you to kind of defend against some of the injury stacks that the enemies are going to have. So here we go. So another reason why Dark Cacao is so important in this particular stage as well is because Affogato actually has a shield, and you know, of course, the zap from Dark Cacao is going to allow you to get rid of that shield as quickly as possible, right? So just know that this is going to be a bit risky, especially because you know, you're taking a lot of damage. You can see Crunchy Chip already taking so much damage, even with that 49% you know, damage resist right there. But they're gonna hang on. Just make sure that your back lane also has a decent amount of damage resist, because they are gonna take a lot of damage from Affogato. But you can see right here, Affogato is actually casting his spell so much slower than he would normally do, because he has this 50% damage, or not damage, but attack speed reduction. So it's gonna make your life so much easier once that you know, debuffs stacks as well as procs onto the enemy. So right there, super slow. Look at how slow that curse is coming down onto our Dark Cacao here. And then once that happens, you know, the summoning of the minions are gonna be a lot slower. The interval is a lot longer, as well as you know, the entire skill as well as damage from Affogato is going to be a lot slower. So this team really works out well. I mean, Dark Cacao is something that you really need to bring, unless, you know, if you don't have Dark Cacao, the only one that gets rid of shield right now is going to be Twizzly, which is not going to be the best cookie to use inside of this particular battle. So I do recommend that you guys try to get Dark Cacao in your team. Crunchy Chip is someone that you probably cannot replace unless you just want to brute force this thing. So if that's the case, then you probably have to replace Crunchy Chip with like another support like Pomegranate or even Sparkling to you know, make up for that heal, because you're going to be taking a lot more damage. Wildberry is the only one that I would say is replaceable right now, but you still have to realize Wildberry is going to be doing a lot more damage to Affogato because of the fact that he does bonus damage to any of the targets that are resistant to knockback, which is almost all the bosses, as well as he gives 15% extra damage resist to all of your cookies while his skill is activated. So not only is he offensive, but also defensive, and it's going to increase the survivability of your cookies. So I do say that these three right here are going to be a core. Cotton is also going to be amazing because not only the damage, but also, you know, keeping your cookies from taking the injury stack from the enemies in the first couple waves. And Parfait also is a very, very important one because, like I said in the beginning, 40% debuff resist is going to be like lifesaver for you, as well as that 10% defense buff. So I tried this team out with Herb or, you know, Pure Vanilla instead of, you know, someone like Cotton, and Parfait didn't work out too well, just taking too much damage because the poison damage is not decreased by the debuff resist. So I don't recommend you guys use other ones if you guys are trying to use this team for 14-22. But I had other viewers who asked me for a team, and I shared this team with them, and they were actually able to beat it. Of course, your toppings are going to come into play as well as your treasure level, but I hope that this team can work out for you guys. I've tried out the Herb and Cherry Blossom, but it is a bit difficult, right? So I would say that one is like really skilled. This one is more of like team building and topping, and you probably could beat it. If you don't want to use the scythe and you want more survivability, then you guys can try to use something like the feather to give some extra, you know, insurance on your team, or even maybe like bringing I would say healer staff maybe works out as well, or even something like the gatekeeper's horn maybe work out too. But I'll say monocle is a bit tricky. Just make sure you don't use it if you guys do bring it when the curse is activated, because the curse damage is going to be crazy if you dispel it while it's activated. All right, so hopefully you guys can use this team. I did try it out for both story modes as well as dark mode, so I know that it works for both. you know, story mode a lot easier. As long as your cookies are like level 60 with decent toppings, you should be able to beat it with the same exact team. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. Thank you to the viewer that has shared this team with me. I forgot who exactly it was, so if you're the one who shared it with me, please comment down below, and then I'll make sure to heart and like it, because, you know, this team and the credit goes to you. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.